What's good, y'all? What's good, Real Talk Squad? It's MJ. It's my guy, AB. Some unforeseen circumstances have made it just, it's just me and my brother right here. But, hey, we're going to talk the Eagles. We're going to talk the Sixers. I mean, we got two franchises, the Sixers, the Eagles. They on top right now. The Sixers, they number 2 in the East. You have the Eagles, number 1 in the NFC, didn't play a game. How you feeling, AB? I know it was a long day. We're gonna talk our sports.
Yeah, man. Like you said, long day, but we here. We made it. We here. We ain't gonna stop what we got going on with y'all. But yeah, man, the Eagles, like you said, won the bye week without doing anything. Made some trades.
Yeah.
Teams lost. Dallas, Washington, the Giants just who they are, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm feeling good about the season so far, coming off the bye week. Definitely feel like we needed some reinforcements, some depth and everything towards the team. So what transpired over the bye week with how we getting some of these guys in to add this depth, add these players to this team, I definitely feel like it's time for us to, start getting better and go on this run for sure.
And one thing Howie did, which he always does, is he always tries to improve the team. And one thing I love about Howie Roseman is that he's never complacent. And when he knows he made a mistake, he will always correct it.
Yeah.
So what am I talking about, y'all? So the Eagles made 3 trades. 3 trades. They traded for Michael Carter II, former Jets slot corner. They traded, a 6th-round pick in John Mechie for that guy. Now, there's some connection because Joe Douglas, the assistant GM, drafted Carter II and gave him $30 million deal. So, obviously, he had to be a huge part in bringing him to Philly. So, you got more depth on the secondary. You got Jair Alexander, who, for the Packers, multiple-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro.
Yeah, All-Pro.
I mean, he was one of the best cornerbacks in his prime. Am I expecting that? Personally, no, but I do think he's better than what we got at cornerback too.
That's easy.
That's pretty much. That's pretty easy there. So, Howie is making moves that is saying, all right, I might have overvalued the depth at cornerback too by letting Darius Slay, letting Isaiah Rodgers, all those guys walk. And then you also improve at the edge because you get Jalen Phillips, who in 2023 with Vic Fangio, this guy is only 26 years old. He had 6.5 sacks in 7 games under Vic Fangio. So I feel like Howie continues to show he's the best GM in the league. What were your thoughts on the Eagles' moves at the trade deadline?
Well, one, before going all the way there, look how we did to the league. You see that before this, in-season trades, middle of the season trade deadline trades, that was unheard of in the NFL. That's more of a basketball thing, moving stars and stuff around. You got everybody running around. You see all the different trades that's going on. So that in itself lets you know that how he is an innovator and was out in the forefront with this thing. But more specifically about the trades, I'm not going to go too over the top with the acquisitions, automatically just saying, oh, this is it. This is Super Bowl. This is whatever. Granted, we still have those aspirations.
For
Absolutely.
Sure.
We still have those aspirations. But I like the depth behind it because, like you said, with missing time, with a Nolan Smith, with Zadarius Smith retiring, so you go back and have to go get
Azeez Ojulari, IR.
Uche, who's it's been solid, but Jalen Hunt, who we wanted to take that extra step and be something that just hasn't really, shown itself to fruition just yet. So adding more depth, and like you said, another young guy, 26, something to prove, coming off an injury as well. So you got that as well. Jair, like the move. The only thing I necessarily was, I guess, a little upset about was the fact that was something we could have addressed in the off-season before it even started.
In the off-season.
Even if you didn't want to keep Isaiah Rodgers, Jair was sitting there for the taking. So now you went out and actually had to spend capital. Granted, we have plenty of picks. Spend the capital to get someone in you could have had. I still believe something that needed to be done. And again, seeing Adoree Jackson, seeing Keely Ringo, who we all hope would take that leap and take the reins in that position, we needed this. So getting that, it definitely can only be a low risk, high reward type of situation.
Hey, just to add on to that, like with Ringo, with Adoree, and really with Ringo, I feel like Howie, he saw what Coop did. He saw what Quinyon did. And I'm just going to say he might have got a little bit cocky thinking that I could just draft any young player, any young defensive back, and they're about to be a Pro Bowl caliber, all pro caliber guy. No. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. Yes, Howie, you get credit for that. And those are amazing moves. But those guys are anomalies. You can be the best GM in the world. You're not about to find those guys back-to-back rounds. So I think that he overvalued the Ringo spot. I think part of it is like a little bit unfair to Ringo in a little bit because it's like, dang, it's all this pressure on him to like be this guy, which he was never like a first, second round guy. Absolutely. Like, well, he's like, what, fourth round pick?
He's a mid-round pick.
Mid-round pick. So you basically put in your whole like season essentially, and the whole fan base is like, all right, Ringo. We done let Slay go. I done seen Isaiah Rodgers against, the Bengals have like a 99, PFF grade. Like so that is something that I look at. I say, all right, Howie, you might have been feeling yourself a little bit too.
Absolutely, and it was something that was even spoken during this week. Listening to radio and things of that nature, where it's like, I'm gonna give Howie his credit where his credit due, but we also have to be fair in this sense. And me personally is like, we're kind of in this predicament because of you being cute, because of you thinking, oh, I got it. Whatever I do, whatever I touch is going to turn to gold, essentially like that. But again, I can still appreciate the fact that he does don't have enough pride in him to where he can just say, oh, I'm right. No, listen, we got to go fix this. We got to go get something because this ain't going to work. We're going to need these people to come in and play for sure.
And then he also has Vic Fangio.
Exactly.
That don't care at all. Bryce Huff was making $51 million last season. Didn't sniff the field. He was a healthy scratch in the Super Bowl. Like, Vic don't care. If you can play, you're playing. I don't care about your name, what your contract is. Vic don't care about anything about that. Hell, even we can segue to like the second level, and the linebacker group has been something that has been a talking point this season. What is Nakobe Dean going to do when he comes back? And my thing is like, y'all talking like this is a bad problem to have. All right, you got Jahad Campbell, who's top 2 defensive rookie of the year candidate. You got Zach Bond, who is showing he wasn't a one-year wonder. And you got Nakobe Dean, who before his injury last season, he had a breakout year. He actually made life easier for Zach Bond to roam around and pick his spots and just really be that all-around playmaker that we know that he is. So I'm looking at this linebacker group, and Vic has played more Nakobe Dean recently, and Jahad has taken a back seat. And I think when you have that run defense that the Eagles want to have, you have to put Nakobe Dean in there because the way that he just attacks the ball, I mean, it's few players in the NFL that just have that dog mentality.
It's the mindset. I think that's the one thing that I say has Jahad, all the talent, all the measurables in the world. And I want to get your take on that. With that, the linebacking core, there's been talk about that. What do? You went out and got Jalen Phillips. You got to play Nakobe now. That's an essential thing now. I believe he has to play. What do you do with the young cat? Or how do you feel that he might be losing snaps? Because then you're talking about playing edge, but then you went out and got all this depth at edge. What do you do with a guy like that? Or how do you feel about that situation?
It's interesting because I feel like Jahad, he's better in coverage than Nakobe, but in terms of a run stopper, like it's not even close. Nakobe's one of the best linebackers in the NFL at stopping the run, and his impact was felt like day one when he came back and like actually like didn't just play special teams. So I think it's gonna be interesting that you might see on a 2nd and long, a 3rd and long. All right, Jihad in there. You saw first game of the season against the Cowboys. Dak was trying to throw the ball up through the seam. I thought, is that CJ Karen Johnson? He come back. Is that Andrew McCougar? Like, yo, Reed, like, hey, did Reed like get a little bit dirty out this John? Like, I'm like, all right, like, so you're seeing the ball skills that he had from day one, week one. So I still think that, especially in obvious passing downs, like you're gonna see Jihad Campbell there. But when it's like that 1st and 10, when you know the defense is probably gonna run the ball, like Nakobe's gonna be there. But I would love to see Jihad get your thoughts on this more on the edge, because if you have a rotation of Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Jalen Phillips, Jihad Campbell, Joshua Uche,
whoever come after
that, and then not to mention our guy BG with the icing on top of the cake. I mean, I just feel like this Eagles defensive line and really that edge rusher group is getting healthy at the right time. You're facing the Packers, you're facing the Bills, you're facing the Chargers, you're facing the Bears. You got some teams left. It's not just a cupcake schedule. So I think that if Vic plays this right, you have an abundance of riches. Like, I'm not tripping. Folks was trying to write off Nakobe and say, hey, like, we don't need him. We got Jihad. We then tried to tell y'all that's not going to work. Like, Nakobe is one of them guys. Let's stop this stuff. And then with the whole edge rusher thing, you can use Jihad, who's very versatile, and Howie has done a great job of getting those guys, Cooper DeJean, who can play inside or outside, can play safety. Like, you have these guys that are so versatile that it just makes your defense that more scary.
Absolutely. I agree. I absolutely agree. Seeing that versatility, and you named all those guys, like you said, that was just all edge rushers. You still got the big man in the middle, Jalen Carter and Jordan. You ain't even named them yet, so you still got those two.
JD having a breakout year.
Come on. So that's why I said coming off this bye, definitely there's the potential for this team to start getting rolling. Everyone's getting healthy at the right time. I say obviously outside of the, you still got the whole little number 11, that whole situation going on with that. But if they can get past that, it's in a good space. Even if you want to talk about the DBs, adding Carter to the mix, now you have a situation where you can flip-flop, whereas it's a situation where you need more DBs out there. Now you can have DBs out there that you can actually trust if he obviously comes in and show that he actually can play, instead of worrying how are we going to hide Adoree, how are we going to hide Keeley.
That's a good point, because it's like, and I was hearing some talk about already, is Coop going to go to the outside? Not this season. Not this season. There's no way that I see Vic exclusively having Coop on the outside when this brother is basically probably the best
in the league.
He's like on the way to become an all-pro, one of the best open field tacklers in the league. What I will say, though, is that if Michael Carter II shows us something for maybe a drive, for maybe a certain series, depending on the matchups in the playoffs, you're probably going to face the Rams, who got Devontae Adams. They have Puka Nacua. If you could have both Coop and Q on the outside to defend those guys, and you are confident in Carter II to not be a crazy drop-off at the nickel spot, then I could see that. But we're still going to see against the Packers, against the Lions, you're going to see Coop in the slot. I would love to see him against Amon-Ra St. Brown. I feel like that's going to be an amazing matchup for us to see. But I think, again, these moves give us more versatility. But like you said, it's like, are these moves going to be the ones that just, oh, my God, like, Jair's the one that's going to make us go to the Super Bowl. Jalen Phillips. I'll probably say out of all the guys, Jalen Phillips is the one guy that I would say, okay,
can
like,
definitely make
if he turns up, this defensive line can become more scary. But like you said with, you mentioned Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. Like, if Jalen Carter, returns to his all-pro form and to the form that we know that he can play up to. Obviously, injuries have hampered him a little bit.
Yep.
It opens up space for the Nolans, for the Jalen Hunts, for Jalen Phillips. Like, he's not – Jalen Phillips is, for the first time in his career, going to be getting all these one-on-ones.
One-on-ones.
Because you got to be focusing on
Jaden
JC,
Carter, Nolan Smith,
Jordan Davis. Like, it's like he's like the fourth, fifth guy that you're worried about on that D-line. Yeah. So I expect him to, like, definitely go crazy and probably be the most impactful guy. Would you say Jalen Phillips out of Carter the second, Jair, is he going to be the most impactful, trade acquisition that we get?
I believe so. For a lot of the things that you spoke about, like I said, we know what Jair is. We didn't see a lot, but it's still telling that you healthy scratch playing for Baltimore all those games, and I think it was like 4 games that he went on not playing. So it's something there. It's definitely going to be an upgrade to what we do. But I feel like Phillips, the age. Approve a year in a sense, because again, people he got to get paid too. He'll be up for another one as well. So I feel, and again, the strength is our defensive line, and you named all those guys. This is the first time he'll be in a situation where he can actually just go and do what he does best, and that's as pass rush. And he helping the run game as well. But for us to have as many defensive players on each level like that, like you said, the corners, you got the linebackers behind you that can run. You're really free to do a lot of things, at that corner. So he definitely has the most upside out of all of them for sure. Because Carter, how much he'll play still remains to be seen. Because again, we got Cooper DeJean, you ain't got Jair Alexander. Unless Jair totally just flames out, you're really not going to see Carter. Maybe somewhere down the line or something like that. Like you said, maybe next year. They moved.
They got him locked up
for a couple years. He under contract already, so that may be down the line, sure. But yeah, he definitely for this season, this year going forward, yes, the total upside is with Jalen Phillips for sure.
For sure, and like I wanna, end with the defense. And I saw something on Twitter. Let it get your thoughts. Josh Sweat has 7 sacks this season.
I seen 2 the other night.
Shout out the Cardinals because they beat them bum-ass Cowboys. Told y'all. And then they got emotional and wanted to trade for Quentin Williams. Y'all not doing nothing this year. Y'all not doing nothing. Hey, I would love to know because people was saying how he made a mistake because he could have kept Josh Sweat, then he invested, in the young guys, in Jalen Hunt, Nolan Smith. I feel like hindsight 2020.
Absolutely.
And is Howie perfect? He not perfect. But I don't care if Josh Sweat is a top 5 edge rusher. He was never going to get paid by the Eagles last offseason. Because it's like, you still have to pay Jalen Carter. You got to pay Jordan Davis.
You thinking about that as well, yeah.
Nolan Smith, Nakobe Dean. You got a lot of guys that you still, got to pay, or at least you got to think about. I don't know if you can, obviously you're going to give Jalen Carter a blank check.
Yep.
The way that Jordan Davis been playing, ain't gonna be no blank check, but shoot, it'll be close.
It's gonna be quite a few zeros.
Quite a few zeros on that, John. So, what's your thoughts on just the guys from the previous team last season that, all right, they left in free agency, Milton doing well, etc. So, do you feel like it was a mistake to let go of Josh Sweat?
The only quote unquote, and I'm gonna use air quotes here, mistakes that we're going to speak on, me personally, is who I believe he should have kept was Isaiah Rodgers and Becton. For the money that they went for, the amount of years that they went for, their ages and how they played with us, that could have been retained. If you look at what we just spent for BG to come back, Zadarius Smith. Now you got, bringing in Jair Alexander, using capital for that. When if you had all these people here already, we would have been good and locked in. So those are the only 2 players I specifically if anybody would have came back, it's them. But like you said, Josh has been here. I love Josh. Joshua. We know the we know the celebration. I love Josh.
Come on.
It's just like for the money, would you want to, knowing that you got a blank check coming from Jalen Carter?
Mm-hmm.
You get in a resurgence year from Jordan Davis, who went out there, lost weight, won us a game early in the season. So now you might be thinking about paying him. Like you said, Nakobe Dean coming back from Energy.
And I even talk about Quinyon and Coop.
Mitchell,
and now, granted, they're going to be down the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you see that money Sauce has gotten. You see that money that Sertan, these boys, J.C. Horn. Like, I'm sorry. I think Quinyon over Sauce Gardner.
Oh, absolutely.
And, like,
absolutely.
You know, he's getting, what, $30 million a year?
Listen.
And that's, you know, a year ago.
I was saying that's not even Top's money at the moment.
At the moment.
Shoot, by the time Q was time for him to come up and get paid, that's another check that you're talking about. Thank God the offense is already paid off for the next couple of years, so you ain't got to worry about them. But, again, like you said, all these guys are coming down the line. You couldn't afford to handicap yourself like that when it comes to the Milton Williams. He just got too much money. That just wasn't going to happen regardless. But Josh Sweat, maybe you could have put him in there. You know how he's a cap wizard and stuff like that. But I love Sweaty, like I said, but I understood in the moment why it was just like, you know what? Go get your bread. You got your boo. You did a lot for us for a lot of years. Remember, he had about 2 years straight where he was on 1-year contracts before he left and everything. So I'm not totally upset about that. And again, listen, we went out there, we got JC, we got Jordan Davis. Those were supposed to be the guys to come up and push this thing forward, keep this thing going. Now we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it go. But as far as if it was a mistake, hindsight definitely 2020, because I can't see nobody. I know there was nobody in this city talking about, we got to make sure Josh Sweat comes back a million ways. But you might have people
maybe Milton, because like he a little bit younger.
Yeah, younger,
like,
right. And he came on. But no one was saying Sweaty. No one was saying Sweaty needed to come back or they're going to be upset that Sweaty. There was the names was Milton, Isaiah, and Makai Becton.
Facts.
Because even Slay was on some like, you know, he can go. He's older, you know, older. So all those things.
Yes, I definitely feel like it was a miss with Isaiah Rodgers for sure. Mm-hmm. I think Makai Becton doesn't hurt to get like another guy in the trenches.
Devontae Smith.
Nah, don't do that. Do not do that. I was like, they know his tendencies, all that stuff. Smitty was in halftime.
Man,
I know he was yelling at KP. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. So ultimately, let's go to the offense, and it kind of like tie into a mini like Eagles Packers preview.
Okay.
You know, we touched on the Eagles defense and like the moves that they've made, and obviously that's been the point of emphasis. But a big part of this season has been the Eagles offense, Eagles offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo.
Yeah,
I'm still not sold with Patullo.
Oh, good, right?
Because I got to see if they do this against the Packers, against the Lions.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like then I will actually go out here. I ain't gonna apologize yet, because you can go out here win 14 games or something like that, and then losing the playoffs.
Crap the bed in the playoffs.
But what I will say is, if you go crazy against the Packers, against the Lions, like that'll give me more respect. Like, what's your level of confidence in Kevin Patullo? Obviously, Hurts coming off really like his best 2-game stretch, I think, as a pro. I mean, he got 7 total touchdowns and 9 incompletions. He had 4 touchdowns without A.J. Brown. Devontae been going crazy. Like, what's your confidence level in this offense and really in KP?
I was about to say, because you already know QB1, you know I'm all in. That's not even a debate. You feel me? Like, even, it's ups and downs, ebbs and flows when it comes to the season. So I don't put too much stock into that when things are bad or whatever like that. But KP, again, do I like what I've seen? Absolutely. Under center, especially with some of the offensive line shakeup as well, missing a guy like Cam Jurgens and stuff like that. So do I see what they're trying to do and like some of the things they're trying to do? Absolutely. But I have to see it consistently go on. And then again, more than anything, against better teams. Because we're talking about the Giants that we just played, where everyone knew coming back into that game we was about to slap them around. Ain't no way we gonna go there, get beat up like that, and think wasn't gonna have a butt whooping after that. No way. I just have to see it. It's one of those things where it remains to be seen, because I do believe now. I will grade it with a little bit of humility in it, because I would say he is a new offensive coordinator. So I'm going to say, okay, if this is going to be a growing offense, show me that you can adapt, that you can learn, that you can learn from your mistakes, things of that nature like that. And obviously we know that there have been a lot more collaboration with player and coach as well. So if that continues and they tell them what they like, or the different plays that they want to run, or this works better for me, offensive line put me under center more because you got Brett Toth out there now. All those things. If he's going to soak it in and take it in and learn from it and grow from it, sure. You can't be stubborn as what we seen at the beginning of the season, where it did nothing changed. It was the same run plays. It was the same throwing plays. You even seen, I've been screaming stretch plays for the long, because all the biggest runs we had all year last year, half the time was them on them corner runs that from Saquon had. And what did we see against the Giants the other week? Stretch plays, toss plays. All he kept wanting to do is shotgun right up the middle, where that's not even our strength right now, because you don't have the Mekhi Becton there anymore. Landon Dickerson in and out of the lineup with injuries and things of that nature like that. So if you're going to adapt and you're going to realize the mistake, we talked about Howie earlier, realizing your mistakes and going out there and correcting them. If you're going to do that, I can see something happening. But as far as just being sold just off of what we've seen so far, it was too small of a sample size for me to just totally jump on board with that.
Yeah, because it was like, all right, KP, we see you
right
cooking a little bit.
Right.
It's the Giants. Their best safeties are out. Best cornerback is out. It's the NFL. You still get credit.
Yep.
But we got to see what it is against an actual team that's going to be in the playoffs. Yes. So I agree wholeheartedly with everything you said there. And I think, talk about the running game, there's an Eagles player that I want to shout out, because I think the Eagles, they have the most underrated offensive lineman in the game.
Who's this?
I don't think know this you one, know who I'm going to say.
Okay.
It's a guy that was on Jacksonville. He was on the Eagles team last season. He was on Jacksonville in the offseason. He went there, and he got traded back to the Eagles. I'm talking about Fred freaking Johnson.
Yes, sir.
And against the Rams, when Matt Pryor was stinking the bed and was unwatchable, and we was right there in the stadium, and I was like, dog, this guy sucks. I'm sorry. He sucks. Jared Verse is just licking his chops at this guy. And then it's like Fred Johnson comes in, the whole offense changes.
Yeah.
You then come back from a 19-point deficit, and then the two biggest plays of the year, the Devontae bomb in the Vikings game, who was brought in to protect? Fred Johnson. Saquon Barkley, second play of the game.
Who was brought in? Fred
Johnson. So one would say, I know Grant Calcaterra really can't block like that for real. I've seen his tape. He's not like that for real. You might as well use Big Fred as like a second tight end at some certain points. Because I'm just like,
go out there and catch a ball, Fred.
Man, he might have a Dallas Goedert out here, running for his money, whatever the case may be. So ultimately, that's my, I guess, unsung hero for this offense. And he's a guy that needs some love there too. And then get back with KP. Like, I just need to see some more consistency. I like what he's done with Smitty, and I think Smitty has been having potentially a career year if he keeps this up.
Absolutely.
And obviously, elephant in the room, A.J. Brown. I think if I'm A.J. Brown, I'm looking at what the Bengals are going through.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Jamar Chase.
All the touches you want, right?
All the touches. And you lose. And now it's like, shoot, all right, I got 11 catches, $160, but I'm not winning. So I hope that puts some perspective in it, but he was never gonna get traded. Not this
season. Heck no.
Unless it was for Myles Garrett or Max Crosby. For me, that's the only.
That would be borderline malpractice if you sit there and trade away 11 during the middle of the season. If you want to talk off season and all these things like that, so be it. Because again, the man has to want to be here. You can't stop the man if he really just does not want to be here. You can't. But we're going to visit that after February, when the February is falling down on us and everything.
And hey, we might go, when we do go back to back, he going to get up in front of the art museum and J. Brown, and he's going to say again, I'm a mother effing champion. And that might change, some of the, little animosity if it's there, not there, all that stuff. So, now I'm definitely looking at that. And I want to get to this quickly. I want to do like Eagles awards, then we get the Sixers real quick.
Yeah, sure. We can do
Who is your MVP for the Eagles team at this point? We're essentially midway through the season.
Okay.
8 games played. Who's your MVP through 8 games?
Overall, or just each side?
Let's do overall.
Okay.
And then we'll do offensive guy or the defensive guy.
Wow. Overall MVP this season. The only one that's been, I guess it's a 2-part question. So offensively, overall, I would say Jalen Hurts, and it's not a biased thing. The reason why I say Jalen is because of the fact of, again, new offensive coordinator, again, drama in the camp, and him just being just the same person every day, coming to work, taking the bullets, taking whatever scrutiny comes. Even like I said, even with the A.J. Brown situation, it's not known, but a lot of it is implied that it's him that all this is going on. It's the beef between him and A.J. Not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just saying these are the things that the QB of a national football team has to take on, things of that nature.
And
like
A.J.
that.
Brown fueled the death fire.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. So if I had to say that, it would probably be him, but it's more so about how he's taking on each year after each year the same way, being a professional. And it's really essentially the only constant thing that we had each year, even with play-wise. I know it isn't always the best, but did Jalen Hurts not throw the ball when he needed to throw the ball against the Rams to go win that game? Even when everything was going on? So it's always been consistent. So this particular season, just studying the ship, keeping everyone together, keeping the main thing, as he say. I would probably say Jalen Hurts as for the team right now. I know it sounds cliche, but for how this panned out so far, for sure. How about you, though?
I agree. Like, I would say Jalen Hurts, and I have him as a top 3 MVP candidate at this point. If you want to put Jonathan Taylor in there, I ain't mad at that.
Okay.
I think Mahomes, Allen, like, they're only favorites because, like, that's just what the betting markets are.
Absolutely.
But, like, I still feel like you're talking about Allen, who has had a cupcake schedule and has 2 losses, and you talk about Mahomes, and it's more about, like, what the Eagles are doing, so I'll keep it to that. But I think just even if you just talk about the full NFL, I think Hurts up there. So if you're talking about just the team, I think he's definitely the MVP, and he's like had to dig us out of holes, whether it's the first game. If you watch the game against the Cowboys, he was electric, and he was the reason why we were in the game when the defense was without Jalen Carter, and Dak and them was just going down up and down the field the whole entire time. So I definitely think Jalen Hurts is the MVP. What I would say on offense, about like offensive player of the year, and I'll go to defensive player of the year, I would probably say offensive player of the year, Devontae Smith. Yeah. And he's showing up, and you can go either Smitty or Goddard. I'm going to just go Smitty because I just feel like he's gotten better than what he's been in the past. And I think with Goddard, he's got more opportunities in the red zone. Yes. But I mean, Smitty in zone coverage is just amazing. Man coverage
yeah,
can't catch him. I mean, he just continuously gets better and better each year. And you don't hear nothing. You don't hear nothing from him. He just put his head down, go to work. Defensively, you can go Zach Bond. You can go Cooper DeJean. You can go Jordan Davis. I think at this point, I would go with Jordan Davis.
Okay.
I would go with Jordan Davis because I feel like his play had allowed the Eagles their first 4 games to be 4-0.
Yeah.
Like if Jordan Davis wasn't playing at that all-pro level,
you're right.
We're talking about, all right, we're 6-2 now, but that could very well be what, 8 games? That could be 5-3. That could be 4-4 if Jordan Davis doesn't perform to his apex there. But it's so many guys. Who you got? Offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year.
Offense, we're going to go back to our guy, Freddie. And the reason why I say that, because ever since he was inserted back into this offense in whatever capacity it is, going to jumbo packages, extra offensive linemen, saving us against the Rams, bringing some stability to that offensive line, all that. For sure, I feel like Freddie definitely deserved some credit because, again, we had a lot of offensive linemen in and out. Cam Jurgens, in and out. Landon Dickerson, in and out. Jordan Mailata not playing as well as he needs to play. Steen, solid, but isn't Mekhi Becton.
Yep.
Shoot, Lane Johnson was in and out of the games as well. But it's like once we got Fred back and any of those things happened, all we did was plug Fred right back in there, and we was on and popping the situation. So I want to give a lot of credit to Fred Johnson for sure when it comes to that. I know it's not the end all or be all. There's a lot of different moving parts, but I feel like that was a good move by bringing him back for that because he's helped out immensely.
100%.
Defensively, you named a lot of the people for sure. You know, you got your, and I would probably have to go with Coop, and I would say Coop because Quinyon, we know he's amazing. We ain't gonna act like he's not amazing, but he had some games. You know what I'm saying? He struggled, but the one person who was consistent at all times that you seen out there playing was Coop. Was Coop. The only time you seen him, you know, Devontae Adams got him a couple times during that game. But other than that, he's been a rock, solidifying. And then again, having to use him outside in base packages now. People don't even realize Cooper DeJean plays special teams as well. So he plays all these different levels. The man is everywhere. So defensively, absolutely, outside of Zach Bond, I would probably have to because the defensive line, shaky, the back end, shaky. We ain't going to talk about the other corner. But Cooper DeJean, I would probably say so far this he's definitely my MVP for the defense for sure.
I mean, you know, him and AJ, they've been buddies and all that stuff. And I think AJ said something like in the offseason or like training camp or something, he was like all-pro Coop. And if Coop keeps this up,
absolutely,
he's 100% gonna be an all-pro. Like you talking about Marlon Humphrey or Cooper DeJean? Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean. Stop playing. Stop playing as Cooper DeJean. Stop playing with us. So ultimately, what's your score? What is your prediction for the Eagles-Packers game? Because they're without Tucker Kraft, who
for the year.
I mean, I talked about it couple of days ago, but I'm just like, man, like these injuries, I be praying before games because, I mean, Tucker Kraft would have been first team All-Pro. Like that's like dang near your best play.
He was having a hell of a year. You hear me? A hell of a year from catching the ball, touchdowns, receiving yards, all the above.
All the
career
above.
year essentially like that for Tucker Kraft. So going into this game, believe it or not, I know there's going to be a lot of trepidation. You know, who's going to play, who's not going to play. I feel like the way things are trending with us and obviously our record coming off a bye week, extra time to prepare, things of that nature like that. I believe we not handily, but definitely by the time that game is done, I do see a double-digit lead before we get on out of there for sure. I can see it starting off a bit slow. You know, just, you know, it's the maybe Packers. They're going to come in here. Yeah, like maybe some rust. You know, you got integrating new players and things of that nature. And when I say when I say Russ, I'm speaking defensively. Let me be clear, because offense, it's the same people there. Y'all should be coming out there.
Right, yeah, offensively,
you should be coming out doing your thing.
Actually should be opening script.
Yes.
Yeah,
you should go down there and go
crazy,
for a touchdown. So I'm specifically speaking defensively because of they do have talent on the offensive side, even if they missing a guy like Tucker Kraft, because again, the run game hasn't been at its best leading up to this game, and Josh Jacobs has definitely been a hell of a player this year as well. They got some offensive players out there, even though I think the one wide receiver Golden might not it's iffy as far as if he's a player or not. This we will see once we get closer to the game. But absolutely, I feel like we can shoot. It can. I don't got a number yet as far as score, but I could definitely see us winning this double digits for sure by the end of the game.
Yeah, I
expect the offense to play.
They better play. That's a great point.
I expect the offense.
Because I think you like slow start. At first, I'm thinking offense.
No,
and it was funny. I was saying it, and I was thinking to myself, like, hold up, like, I'm not giving these guys too much grace right now. No. Off a bye week, y'all better be blazing.
Yes,
blazing.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
No, I think that the Eagles, they go out there and handle business against the Packers. I'm surprised. Look at this now. The Eagles are an underdog heading to Lambeau Field. Granted, they are on the road.
Yep.
But I love the Eagles as an underdog. They were underdogs against the Bengals last season. Beat them. They were underdogs against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Beat them. They were underdogs against the Ravens. Went to their house. Beat them.
And Henry got dumped.
Boom. Boom. So, I mean, it was just amazing. So, yeah, we're looking at this. We're saying to ourselves, like, the Eagles should beat the Packers, and I shouldn't be sweating at the end of the game about this, John. And Tucker Kraft is a huge loss for them, and they got other guys, but, you know, you're now really banking on Matthew Golden, rookie guy, to, you know, have a career game, or Romeo Doubs to have a career game. You're talking about Romeo Doubs against Christian Wise.
Yeah.
Talking about Romeo Doubs against Quinyon Mitchell.
Yep.
Stop playing, bro. Quinyon unlocked the Mecca Ibuka. We talking about Romeo Doubs. Not even a question right there. So I would say, I'll put a score on it. I'll say that this Eagles offense drops 27, and the Packers, they have 16. 27-16. I like that. I like that.
Forget it. You know what? We going 30. We throwing the 30 ball on. I'm going there. We going 30 ball on. Yeah, we going 30 ball. Because I think it get like that. After a while, Saquon might go hit one. That's been going better. Like you said, who they going to guard? Who they guarding our wide receivers? I'm going 30 ball.
I like that.
I'm going 30 ball.
And I would love to see the run game to build off of their performance. You would love to see Tank Bigsby, Saquon Barkley. We all know that Saquon is the number one guy, best running back in the league. All right, this season you want to say he's top 3. All right, fine. JT and all those guys. All right, fine, cool. But that 1-2 punch that we saw in that Giants game, I mean, the Giants are so sorry that our backup running back had 100 yards. So we're looking at this, and we're saying y'all should just build off of this. Because against the Vikings, the previous game, Tank had 1 carry for 11 yards. So he's been putting up numbers.
Yes,
I got mad at myself because I had a video where I said Tank got to get the ball more, and then the Giants game happened, and I was like, all right, everybody's saying that. I'm like, dang. But, like, you should feed Tank more and lean on that run game. And then, like you said, under center and, you know, just not being predictable, it just allows the offense to be so much more explosive.
We seeing our boy again out there in Green Bay. You know, we about to go see our boy Micah again. You know he hate Lane.
Oh, my God.
You don't want that run game.
You don't want that
run game.
And he had 0 pressures against the Panthers. What he going to do against us? What he going to do against us?
Absolutely.
So, come on, man. We got the Eagles, of course, being the Packers. Before we end, I want to, you know, briefly talk about the Sixers, and they're 5-2, second seed in the East at the time of this recording. They're playing the I think the Bulls or somebody. I think they played the Bulls last night. They're playing the Cavs tonight. Okay. So, you know, that might change. I think they've had a different hunger, a different swagger to them. I'm looking at VJ Edgecombe.
Your boy.
That's my guy. I mean, it's funny because, like, we talk so much Eagles, and then it was like last, you know, off season, I'm talking about the Sixers and they should draft VJ, and then it was like Miles, you don't know what you're talking about, Ace Bell. I done told y'all. We cover all the sport. Cover all the sports. Stop playing with us. So ultimately, but I ain't going to my horn too much because did I think that VJ did I think that VJ would do this? Yeah. Nah, I ain't think this. I thought I'd call him 15, 6 and 5. Like something like that. Cause averaging like 26 and 5 right now. I mean, and I would argue that you should give the ball to him more and play around VJ and Tyrese Maxey more. But there's this other, point to it that has bothered me too. Because while I do believe, yes, you should lean on your young guys, especially in the regular season. These are the guys that are young. Absolutely. And they can run up and down the court and be like older guy, injury history. Like he just can't run with them, for 82 games, right? But the notion that the Sixers need to trade Joel Embiid or that they need to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
What is wrong with y'all? Yeah. For the whole time it's been Embiid gets no help. Ben Simmons, a bump. James Harden folds in the playoffs. Jahlil Okafor, what are we talking about? I mean, you had one guy in Zaire Smith that you traded Mikal Bridges to get that guy, and Cuz didn't play more than 15 games for y'all. So we know that in the past years, Joel Embiid wasn't fully supported. Now he's supported. He got Tyrese Maxey playing at the MVP level. He got VJ Edgecombe playing like the rookie of the year. Kelly Oubre doing stuff. You got Adem Bona blocking shots, playing good defense. And now it's trade demand?
Trade him.
Come on, dog. I think two things can be true. Like, you should still want Embiid there because his presence is so important. But you should also lean more on your guards, especially in the regular season. I would love to know your thoughts on that because I just feel like it's getting disrespectful. And I think it's disrespectful to Joel Embiid because he's been here and has been an MVP and he has given the Sixers great moments. I, in the past, have said trade Joel Embiid. At this point, it's just like you're in too deep. You gotta just ride till the wheels fall off. Now, with Paul George, I still think the notion that get rid of him, we don't need him. The Sixers won like 24 games last season. They ain't the Celtics or these premier top franchises. What you mean they can be picky with who they get?
Play.
As long as you producing, you playing
on that floor.
You playing. So it's like people trying to like trade this team and trade like pieces and Embiid and Paul George who have a track record. Multiple All-Stars, All NBAs of getting it done. I just feel like it's disrespectful.
I agree. You ain't gonna listen. I'm a Joel Embiid guy through the frustration and through it all. I understand the frustration. I understand why people think like that because we've been through a lot as Sixers fans. Even before the Joel Embiid era began, we've been through a lot. So absolutely, I'm the same thing where it's just like when the time comes, if it's time to move them or whatever it might be, and I understand the injury history, the not clutch, and that. Trust me, I understand it all. But to have the notion of when you finally have a team together like this, and you named a lot of players, and you still got people like Jared McCain, who just returned back against the Bulls. Quentin Grimes that you added into the mix. Like you said, Adem Bona, Trenton Walford, who's been a sight for sore eyes the last 2 games, showing his athleticism and ability to pass and score.
In transition,
all them things. So when you finally get an actual team now, you want to get rid of the person that still has a presence. People still don't want to go down in the paint with him. We all know he can't move, but they still don't want to go down out to the paint.
He's still attracting double teams.
They still attract double teams and triple teams on him, and he can barely get off to the floor. That's a presence in itself. How we play, how we use him now, yes, that can be tweaked. That's what you have a coach for. That's what you're supposed to do. Now you have Nick Nurse using them at the top of the key and at the elbow a lot more, giving space for guys for Maxey to drive, VJ to go get a bucket, Kelly Oubre, that's his thing, to go for contact layups and things of that nature like that. have an opportunity to play another big with him as well, and they can worry about the dirty work that people forget how Joel Embiid literally had to do everything for this team. Every scoring, rebounding, assisting, coaching, whatever you needed, he had to do everything. Now we have a moment where he can solely focus on the one thing that he's great at, and that's getting a bucket. Now you just want to trade him for a bag of chips and a poppy platter? Like that's not. I don't understand that. Unless you going out there bringing me back somebody, which you're not going to. We understand that as well. Why not ride this out? Them young guys gonna be here. They're gonna grow. They're gonna get better. And when he's transitioned out, they transition with them.
That's a great point, because it's like, yo, we're in VJ Edgecombe's 8th, 7th game of his career. And you're talking about trade demand that won MVP 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And granted, when I have said trade Joel Embiid, it was because I had his, trade market, like his, current trade price being so high that I was like, all right, you can flip this because, he just hasn't shown to be healthy. But the reasoning is what really pisses me off, because it's like, all right, now we got a team. Now let's trade Embiid. It doesn't make any sense to me.
You just want to get rid of a guy just to subtract from a team when you don't need to.
Don't need to. Yeah. Like, again, the way the Sixers are playing, I love Maxey, but do you expect Maxey out here to be, dropping 35 points per game through an 82-game season? I think it's gonna drop more to like probably 29.
Yeah.
I could see him doing like 30. Yeah, I could see 27 to 30, somewhere around there. But like, I mean, the way he's playing is like prime Harden. and y'all are 5-2, but this ain't like sustainable. Like you're gonna need some other guys to step up there. So
Nick Nurse is already running him into the ground already. He's logging almost 40 minutes a game. Almost. So it's like, you don't want that to happen for sure.
Yeah. So I guess as we close, what's one brief thing you're looking forward to seeing from the Sixers, whether it's a certain player, whether it's how they run their offense, defensive scheme, like what's one thing that you're looking forward to seeing further on this season? We're in the beginning stages, obviously.
Yeah, again, it's sort of kind of how the approach that I spoke about with the Eagles and coming off of the bye week. It's just the continued progression, especially when you start adding these players coming off of injury, like Jeremy McCain, the Paul George will be back eventually. Joel Embiid, as you've seen from game to game, has progressed each game that he's played, damn near scoring a point a minute, damn near. So he can still go get a bucket. So I'm just looking at the fact that can we really cultivate something? And mostly the culture. I would say the culture itself. That's one thing I can say about Maxey that I do appreciate him
the culture.
After this offseason, really taking that mantle on and saying, hey, no, this is how we got to be. This is the culture that we need to be. I know we haven't won nothing, but it starts now. The same old way that you look into games, and we've all watched Sixers game late in the games, turnovers, things that we can see, the loss is coming. The loss is coming. But no, we're gonna correct that this year. Or if we want to be contenders, especially this year when it's wide open essentially that for you to make some noise. Do I think they're gonna win it all? No. Is there opportunity there for them if they get it right to do so? Hell yeah. So I look more so about the culture, because if the culture's right, we have a bright future. Because I believe in the young guys that we got as well, because I will give Marius credit. He's bringing people who are in essence of how the Eagles say culture guys, work ethic guys, Maxey, VJ, even Jeremy McCain. As soon as they got on into this team, they was in gyms. They was working on their game. They want to get better. They're challenging other players. You heard the story with Maxey. Love the story when before the season started, called everybody in the group chat, hey, I'm hitting the gym tomorrow morning. If you want to work out and hit some ones, pull up on me. The only person that showed up bright and early was VJ Edgecombe coming into the gym. So those type of things, believe it or not, we spoke with BG about that, how culture really, really matters to a team and how a team progresses and get better. So I'm looking forward to what culture is built and if they can continue building on what they already started and actually making some noise.
Yeah, and just to add to that as we close, I think VJ Edgecombe is so important because I want to see them lean on him
Yep.
and not treat him like a rookie. I think there are some people
That
that
you do that with.
they are so special.
Mm-hmm.
You can't treat them like everybody else. You can't treat, if Obama walk in this joint, like, all right, like, hey, what you want, like a water or something? No, like, hey, wait, get the sparkling. Hey, what you want, some wine? Hey, we gonna give the full red carpet. And like with VJ Edgecombe, it's like, all right, bro, like you're doing stuff as a rookie that you see vets do, that you see guys that seasoned vets, guys that have had deep playoff runs, you've seen them do. His first game of the season against the Celtics, he dropping 34 points, going right at Derek White, going right at Jaylen Brown.
Guarding both of them as well.
Yeah. Exactly. So I would like to see them continue to lean on him. Obviously, lean on Tyrese Maxey. The culture, like you said, is a huge, huge part. And I said one thing, but I'll probably say like one more thing would be Joel Embiid just to stay healthy. And just give us a little bit more. They need in order to beat the Knicks or the Cavs, you're gonna need Embiid to be a little bit better. But I have my patience because I still feel like the last time Cuz played was like February of earlier this year. Let's like again, had even been 10 games. Ain't been 10 games. Let's just wait it out for a little bit. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Eagles Sixers episode. We are here in Philly. How you feeling, man, as we close?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. I like all our teams is going. I like the direction that they're going in. I just need them to keep it going, to keep it, whatever it is that's going on down there that's brewing, the continuity, the structure, the organizations, even how they align with themselves as well too, is what they want to put, the product they want to put out on the floor. We just need this going. This is a good time to be a Philadelphia fan of sports for sure. Like we didn't have this for a long time in this city, so I'm looking forward to really seeing how these seasons progress. And I really believe they can make some noise in both sports. And even before you go, again, Sixers wise, real fast, do you believe it's a real chance that they can make some noise in the playoffs and do something?
I definitely think they can because they have a crazy deep roster. Okay. It's like even when PG come back, it's like, all right, whether it's Oubre on the bench because they're not gonna bench Paul George. So it's like, all right, you got Oubre on the bench, you got McCain off the bench, Grounds off the bench. Like you got a freaking squad.
Yes.
As long as Embiid
is healthy.
And we're not even asking for Embiid to be 100%. If you can just be 65% of what you were, I think that's enough to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and get to that point. Anything can happen. It's going to be a 6-7 game series at that point. So that's what that is. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. MJ, AB.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk with MJ. We are out.